Okay.
It's like, yeah. Okay. We're live? Okay. Thanks everybody for coming. We're live now. Thanks, Phedon, for coming, for doing this.
Thank you. Thanks for
Yeah.
all coming. It's nice and cozy. Feels like a ski cabin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously we're going to talk about lights, but I was running, I was just trying to research and look at a lot of trailers from your stuff. And the issue I always was facing was it's impossible to look at the light because you just get drawn into the story right away. It's like pop and you're gone. And then I thought, okay, what are we going to do? And I called Rafi, your gaffer, and said, what do I talk about with Phedon? Because you look at the stuff and it's just, you get drawn into the story. And he said, well, it's what you do with the staging and how that affects the lighting afterwards. So I thought that would actually be interesting to talk about because it's so much about actors and how you let them, be in a scene and how it comes together. So I thought that actually would be a much more interesting approach than coming from a technical
Sounds good.
point.
I mean, I was just over with Bruno and Ed, and Bruno was saying that how he changes, like how he maybe sometimes lights something. He likes prep. I don't really like prep. But he said, work a lot in prep. That's really when I imagine the movie, and and I kind of do it on the day after I see the blocking. Like, I have, of course, I also do a little thinking before, but I really reserve my final creative decisions for the moment when I see the actors on set, dressed, with my pre-light. Like now I even place a camera because everything is so fast, and I have Asteras, and I can change everything on the fly, so often while they're just bringing the actors in, and I see like Timothy walking around, like because he's exploring the space, I'm already like adjusting. I have my little DMX dimmer park a camera, even so it's sitting there for rehearsal. It's not a shot, but I tell my assistant, put it here, and then kind of seeing by the monitor, I'm already like adjusting levels, and then I watch the blocking of the rehearsal, and I adjust and I dial in the mood, and it's based on kind of like how the performance is dialing in, because that is also, especially with the actors I work with, they're very instinctive and intuitive, and if I like Timothy, like we will plan. So before we bring the actor, the director and I go we kind of verbalize what we would like it to be. Mm-hmm. Like we go, hopefully, he will go here and sit here, and then, but we don't come and tell him, okay, this is. Some directors do, like Diane Keaton was very specific, even with John Turturro, who's a method actor. But she actually pre-shot everything in pre-production, acted everything out like Charlie Chaplin, and then because she comes more from the Woody Allen school, and Woody Allen would do that also. When Woody Allen did this movie with Jenna Rollins, who was used to working with Cassavetes, she was in shock how Woody said, I need you to pick up this cup and walk it over here, and I will take my camera to here, and it's all designed on how he connects his shot list. We with Mangold, we're pretty precise. We're kind of classic filmmakers, but we do like to move a camera in a way where you don't feel it, and we do like to not to cut to close-ups, but we like actors to create a close-up by coming into a shot, then turning, and then it turns into an over the shoulder. So we're always looking kind of like Steven Spielberg did on. I always watch Catch Me If You Can. Because it has a lot of the way we like to block and shoot. I actually kind of are not that dissimilar from Spielberg. I think my collaboration with Mangold, but the mood of the lighting, and Rafi knows this. Rafi is my gaffer for on 30 movies. I first hired him when he was 22 years old. I was 26 or something. Mauro Fiore recommended because Janusz was my gaffer, and Mauro was my key grip.
Really?
And then Janusz started shooting second unit for me, and then also started shooting other Corman, Janusz Kaminski, and started shooting other Corman movies. And then he hired Mauro to gaff for him. And then, so I lost my key grip. And then Mauro recommended Rafi. That's how I met Rafi. It's the first time I interviewed, I had to interview somebody for a job. Of course, I had nobody else I was meeting. And then Rafi came in, he's 6'6", like 2'10". Rafael Sanchez, this big Mexican guy, like 300 pounds. And I was like, I go, yeah, okay, you got the job. But then I made him gaffer. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place, but it's okay because this is informal. So then we did a couple movies where Rafi was my key grip, and then on Diane Keaton's movie, I said to him, you know, you have a really good eye, because you know, you're cutting all the light. I mean, and I think you should be gaffer and on this movie, on Strong Heroes, which is a really great movie, but hard to find maybe. It was Diane Keaton's first movie she directed as a feature, and it's Annie MacDowell and John Turturro, and he goes, yeah, no, Pops, you know, like everyone knows me as a key grip and stuff. I go, you know, well, think about it, you know, go talk to Jennifer, his wife, and come back to me in 3 days. And so he calls me after 3 days. He goes, you know, I've been talking it over with Jenny, and then I think I'm going to keep the key grip job. I go, key grip job is no longer available. I had hired somebody, Matt Mania, and then he goes, oh, okay, I guess I'll gaff. And then, like, he never looked back. He literally became the biggest gaffer in the world. They did, like, I mean, all 6 Pirates of the Caribbean, and we have a lighting company together, Bella Luce, and I mean, he's done work with Wolski, and I mean, all the huge movies. Now he just does. I haven't worked with him in a long time because he only does these huge Marvel movies with The Rock, like Jungle, right, all these things. People. Black Adam and all these things. Yeah. So anyway, but even with Rafi, I would always, while they were rehearsing, like, this is before I had all the technology, which really has made it like very different because I can adjust so quickly on the fly. And back then it was like, go over there, like quietly drop a double. You know, like these are screens, I don't know if you guys remember those days. You do? Well, no, it was so hard to make adjustments. It's like add a quarter CTO, you know. Okay, let me see half, or you know. But we always had. That was what was so amazing about the American cruise and the LA cruise. Like every light, and then later when I went to Europe and I learned, like, people don't know how to cut light in Europe. Like even in Munich when I did a commercial with them, then there's like, oh, I need a topper here, and they'd go and knock the barn door down. I go, no. You got to set a flag like out here on the edge of your frame. Diffusion, like not open on the barn doors.
I have to protect the Munich crew. That was a crew problem. That was not general.
No, it was like the biggest guys in Munich.
Really?
But it is 25 years ago.
Okay. Just when I was starting.
But even in London, my gaffer David Sinfield, who does huge movies. When I first started working in England, and I realized they're also in charge of cutting light, like that they don't know how to cut light. Now I'm spoiled that my regular key grip is Ray Garcia, who did like Revenant and works with Chivo, but I made him a key grip. He was a Best Buy, and the key grip left, and I bumped him up, and then he's the biggest key grip in the world now. But he's amazing because, and I said to him, you really have like an amazing eye. You should be a gaffer.
The story repeats itself.
Yeah, and he said, no, Papa, like they just placed it like eye-shaped. So, and it is true in a way. It is really an art form. I mean, now again with all this new technology, it's changing, and also because we have so many more post tools. Like we won't spend. It's just a logistical thing. We won't spend hours like cutting a light off of a building, you know, that I can easily like single out in post, and like it's, or I need like a lot of equipment, like I need a fly spotter, a Manitou 20 by 20. It's like, why do it, you know, just to like take some light off some trees or something, you know. It's like, so I mean, it's also changing, but anyway, to go back to the original thought was, so the adjustments to exactly how I light a scene really happens when I see the performance, the final performance. Because if a guy's you know, same with the framing, you know, like on Nebraska, I mean, we had a shot list. It was very simple. With Alexander Payne, it's always very simple. But like, you know, we would plan like 3 shots, and then we would see Bruce and how he walks, Bruce Dern, and like, and I go, it's really playing better in the wide shot because it's so much about the body language. Like, I think it's not communicating through a close-up. It's like, why do it? And it works the other way too sometimes, where we only plan one shot, and I go, well, you know, he did something really nice when he sat down back there and his head like collapsed. I think it'd be good to get that, you know. So it's a fluid, like the shot list is fluid, like we adjust as we see things. And I think you have to, as a filmmaker and as a cinematographer, but of course as a director or a storyteller, you have to be open to find these things, these gifts, let's say, that they give you, and otherwise you're missing out on a lot of things. I mean, these are great opportunities, and you really just have to be there at the right time with the right shot, but you have to be open to adjusting. Now, other really great visual directors like Gore Verbinski, he's more like Hitchcock, you know. It's really all super pre-designed in his head, and he draws. In prep, he sits on his desk and draws literally every frame by himself for the whole movie. And then he'll come to set with this storyboard, but he comes from commercials. He was hugely successful commercial director.
But how is it with the flow? Because, I mean, that's the most precious thing, right? You're seeing a rehearsal, you're seeing what's happening, and then you got to react on the fly.
Yeah.
How do you do it? Because sometimes it's like, do you kind of just protect the flow and then just sacrifice stuff when you're shooting? Or do you kind of say, the performance is great, but we have to move here and we have to make some adjustments? And do you break it?
Well, I try not to really get on the way, so I try to, and that's why all this technology really helps me. Because first of all, I have a lot of lights kind of in position, and I don't even have them on. And like, or I have people walk with the light. I have 2 people walk with a light, and then and I'm on monitor, and then they come to me after the take. They go, let me check the connection. It wasn't on. I go, yeah, I didn't use it, but I still make him walk with it, with the light that's off, because in case, you know, because an actor will do something like, you know, like Joaquin Phoenix or Timothy, suddenly he'll play the whole scene with his head like this, and I talk to them. I have HMEs on everyone, the operator, all the people with walking lights, and I go lower, 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 lower during the take.
Okay.
You know, then I'll bring it up.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I'll also shift keys. You know, so let's say they're walking down the street and they come to a corner and they look right. I know that I'll have a light ready for his look to the right. I mean, it's super like not noticeable. I mean, they're like, I actually make people on my dimmer board make the 100% make it 30%. So I have room on my slider. You know, like, you know that as a gaffer. Like you max it at 20% instead of 100% of the, let's say, the vortex. Because otherwise I'm like 1%, 4%, and I can't really. So I said make the top end 10% sometimes of what the light is capable of. So I can use physically the space of the slider.
And you have your own little dimmer board that's a breakout.
I have a wireless dimmer board. I mean, I have a photo of it, but it's called DMX-IT. I discovered it. It's like 12 channels.
Okay.
And I can walk with it on set and set things, and then I go back to the monitor. And I have little Velcro labels for everything, so I know where everything is. I tell the big board operator to give me the 2 dash lights, on 1 and 6, you know, like on the outside. So it's 1 through 6, and then another row 7 through 12.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I also geographically place them. So I remember, and I have little labels. Like if it's an Astera tube, I have little tubes, and it's either orange or blue. So I know this is the warm light ones, and these are the cooler light ones.
It's amazing.
And or I have little symbols that look like a vortex, and they're blue, like on stage, you know. And geographically, I place them on my board because, you know, I'm also dyslexic and stuff. Like where if I'm standing on the stage facing this way, it lines up with my sliders.
So it stays intuitive, of course.
Yeah, and I know, like, okay, this is all the vortexes hanging on the right side of the stage, and these are all the 360s, S360s that I have on the floor, and they're warm, and also tungsten. You know, you can put tungsten on it. I have par cans, and I try to use tungsten as much as possible. It's still like the nicest light. And I don't know how many of you have seen A Complete Unknown.
Sure. You have,
Okay.
right? Yeah. You're gonna see that movie. Come on.
Yeah. So you know, like his apartment is all tungsten.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like 5Ks, 10K, but don't need big tungstens because I'm also working at 6,400 days, you know, and so I'll have like 1 case in par cans instead of hanging, you know, 10Ks or Dino lights. I used to do everything with Dinos.
Yeah.
You know, so I can really, you know, that's nice. And even I remember Storaro when he came to AFI and he talked about Last Emperor, and he was the guy who had Fabio, his cousin or nephew, or dimmer, and we were asking back then, but isn't it a problem when you dim them down that they get too warm? And he didn't really care. I mean, because he likes it warm. But you know, that's why I actually like smaller lights and work at higher ASA because, you know, I don't have to dim them down so much. They're not like running so warm. Although usually because they're coming in low, it is a lower sun that they represent, so the warmth is okay. But sometimes, like a 10K, it'll be at 8% or something, it'll be too warm. And also, the bigger the bulb, the longer it takes to react.
Exactly.
You know, like so I prefer 9 lights or Maxi Brutes because they're all 1K bulbs, so they react quicker to my cues.
Yeah.
So in Indiana Jones, when the plane is crashing in a spiral, you know, I'm rotating like 9 lights like the sun, like it's like, and we're doing it with dimmer boards, like, so it looks like, you know, the plane is spiraling. And I couldn't, oh, actually, yeah, then I had a 10K on a 40-foot crane that was also moving for the sun patterns inside the cabin too. And I found that was too slow, so I switched it to a 9 light.
Yeah. And it's also easier to turn them off, right? So if you just see one less light, you can turn smaller bulbs off. So you don't get into color problems.
Yeah. Like even just to dim out a 10K, if you want it off, like it takes like 4 seconds.
How do you do this in prep? Because obviously you got a set of initial mood before you do the blocking and the staging. How do you go about the initial setup so you know you have everything in place when you're getting there?
Well, you know, I'll know. I mean, I'll stay with the example of the apartment because we had in one day, often I had to do 2 day scenes, a night scene and a dusk scene. So I have everything ready for night work, everything ready. And it's, you know, the day stuff is like, so I have 10Ks, I have, for ambience, I was using 360s sky panels. And they play a little cooler, let's say 4,800, and then the par cans and the 5Ks and 2Ks, and that would come in through the window and hit like the bed. Like I don't really hit actors with it, I hit stuff. That's like an old Conrad Hall trick. Like I would hit the table and the carpet, and that gives all the light, you know. So, and it might hit an actor here, or if it's sitting in more, I cut it, I top it, or. For the hard lights, usually, like they're just playing on the body or something.
Yeah.
Like if you watch Bobby Fischer or something, you know, Conrad Hall, and like that's like, I always liked that. Or so I have all the lights in place for my day work. And then let's say we go to dusk, then I just kill all the tungsten and I use the 360s and I change the level. And then I have the soft, like we had a bunch of rain scenes in it, like when we were watching TV and stuff. And then there was a scene where he's on the phone and it's kind of just the first, supposed to be either the last, I mean, it was kind of a montage sequence, but it doesn't really matter. And then the warm light I bring in, I make it super warm, probably by having it all the way down on dinner, but I might even add like a half CTO or even full CTO. Like there's one scene and it's just spilling on the fridge and stuff, but the dominant source is the blue ambience. You know? So I mix it, and then night, then I mean, I typically switch to practicals and see what they do, and then I supplement the practicals, and it's always the correct direction. Like I always want to apply logic of the lighting. So but I'll have like a Helios tube hidden somewhere, and I hide it behind the desk of a table, and it's coming from where the practical is. So you don't blow out the practicals too much, but it looks like it's. And some cinematographer asked me yesterday. He saw the movie yesterday also for the first time, and he goes, "Wow, it's like it really looks like it's like there's no lights being used." And that's always my goal. Like, I mean, of course it's lit, and I shape everything, and I use a lot of negatives, and I hang blacks like on all the walls, like that are not in frame and stuff, because these digital cameras, like they really pick up everything. And he goes, "Yeah, and yeah, because it really doesn't look like." And I go, "Yeah, that's the goal." And also, and he goes, "But you also don't cheat, like, I don't know who he was saying, like Janusz, he said, which is like backlight this way, which of course looks good, but I can't." And Rafi always says, "Papa, it looks, if it looks good, like nobody will care, but like I remember in Bob Richardson movie, like with Robert Redford, like the Horse Whisperer, I don't know, but they're all standing outside, and it really cuts around, and everyone's back there.
But
I can't deal with it because I get distracted by it.
Yeah.
But it also can be distracting if you're fully not cheating, because it breaks the editorial flow to cut from a frontlit person to a backlit person. Sometimes, like, so of course, like let's say Timothy on stage, he's in the frontal spotlight, but when I come around, I switch to another spotlight, so it's like 3/4. But you still buy it.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking about it yesterday. I was watching a movie again. I go, or even when I'm doing a Steadicam wraparound, again, that's where I'm switching the key. So let's get Scott Sakamoto starts here, and I did it all the time on this movie, and and I'm keying from here. And he comes around, then I keep this high, so it's backlight, and then, so I have usually 3 lights when I'm doing something. So I have that one, and then one down the center, and then one here. So when he comes around the back, I hand over from this one to the frontal. Oh, wow. And then by the time he comes around, and I'm doing it like, it's like a sound mixer, like I'm, and then by the time he comes here, he's keyed from here. It would look terrible if he was still keyed from here, and nobody will ever notice. No. I mean, now that I told you, you look for it. Yeah. No, but like you totally can get away with it. Yeah. So I do cheat. So there's another scene where I'm in bed and they're singing "Blowing in the Wind," and of course the direction. And I really only wanted to shoot. They're sitting right next to each other, and it's like 2-shot faces. And I really wanted just to shoot that angle because the window was there. It looked amazing. Timothy looked great, and Monica, and then Jim goes like, "I really want to come around, like tight rig." And the windows in that case now behind the camera. Really, like, it's so nice. Like, doesn't it play in this? And no, I really need to cut. I need a cut to be able to cut. And so, but I maintained it frontal, but I shaped it as much as I could, but I couldn't really bring it from anywhere else because it's so clearly established that the window is there. Like I couldn't like shift the key.
Yeah.
I would be kind of, so you see how far you can cheat it, and then you go, no, that doesn't, like it's too much. But I worked it long enough where it looked okay, and then in the DI I did additional windowing and like took his cheek down, and stuff like that. Like sometimes you can't get really in there because also the sources are big and soft, and the softer and the bigger the light, the harder to cut.
Yeah. But do you? Is the logic of the room more important to you than lighting the faces? Because there is like, when you're staging it, here's the window and here's this happening here, and if you always kind of cheat around just the face look good, so you lose the logic of the room, right? Is that what you're meaning, or when you're lighting it initially? I'll rephrase.
Yeah.
When you're lighting the room, right?
Yeah.
There's a logic to the room where things happen, and then when you go into the close-ups.
Also, when I light a room, like on the wide shots, I light the room so the actors really can go anywhere.
Yeah.
And look good anywhere.
Yeah. Because
And then when I go in for coverage, most of the time I don't make adjustment for a close-up. I might bring like a tiny thing for a little highlight, or I might soften one source, or instead of it bouncing off the chair, the white armchair, I'll bring like a unbleached muzz and bounce it off of that, so I can control a little more. But like basically whatever logic is applied in the master, I maintain that throughout the close-ups.
Because that struck me the most on the complete unknown is like when you go into the close-ups, everything is revealed in the eyes, but like the highlights and how the whole it just feels like it's coming together in one.
And the eyes are super important. Like I used to not care about highlights, and but like I learned like the soul of a character comes through the eyes. And I told Bill Pullman on While You Were Sleeping, there was a romantic comedy with Sandra Bullock and stuff, and he was not really a romantic lead at the time. He was in that one David Lynch movie, and he always like talked, and I go, and I was very young. It was like my second big feature, second studio picture. And I said to him, dude, like I gotta see your eyes. Like it's a fucking romantic comedy. Like look up at her. He's like, and he did. They learned it too. I mean, good actors know. Like Tom Cruise knows, and Timothy knows. Christian Bale knows.
Guys, if you've got any questions, I don't have to ask all of them. So if you have anything that comes up, please just be so kind and ask the questions as well.
Yeah, this is total free flow. I mean, you guys.
Exactly.
We can talk about anything.
Sure.
If you use an highlight on the close-up that's not naturally there, like a window or something, is there a preferred tool you use, like try to bounce something or use a small?
And now I'm using the little Roscoe Dash, but you guys have them also. Aperture has them. They're kind of
Everybody has something.
Yeah, but I like the Roscoe Dash just because it has that silicone dome on it, and if I see it in the eye, or if I see it in glasses, like you can get away with it because it looks like a round thing. But again, it's like so low, the intensity. Sometimes it's basically mounted above the matte box, unless I'm pushing in and stuff, or like if the distance changes, you gotta like I have someone hold it, but like, and then I just dial it in on my slider. Like it doesn't really affect the lighting of a face. It just gives a little highlight. But you can use something harder further away too. I mean, as long as it's not messing up sort of your contrast ratio or filling in like overall into the shadows and changes the mood. Like it really has to be barely detectable.
When you refer to your little slider, is that portable or is it on a little stand or something?
It's I have a photo.
On batteries?
Huh?
You run around with it?
It's small. It's like twice the size of this phone, maybe. And it's wireless, and I can walk around with it.
Can
But
you repeat the name?
DMX dash it like IT.
GMX.
DMX it. I mean, I just discovered that because Mike Bauman, who was my gaffer on Further Ferrari, he made me do things on iPad. I can't deal with it.
Yeah.
I can't. My fingers and I'm sticky, and I need the mechanical slider. And so I travel with it because I do commercials all over the world, and nobody has this. And that's the one. Instead of a light meter, I travel with that. And I used to travel with that and one dash light with the silicone things, because also sometimes they didn't have it.
Okay.
And I mean, I know they have other ones. Like I had the first Astera had the little ones that were magnetic. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they were all kind of more like toys.
Yeah.
Let me try and find it, because I showed to. But some gaffers, like my one in Vancouver, I just came from Vancouver. He said I need like the different board operator. I don't know. Like it was harder for them.
To do
Like,
the
so they
breakout
had
from
their
it,
own
yeah.
thing, and then he put it on a pancake on the stand. It was a bigger plastic one. It was shitty one, white. It was, but then he gave me an iPad above it, and he had all the lights on stage, and it showed what color temperature they are, and then that's everything I do. I could also do color with it, but I don't. It's too much to deal with. So I stay, but I also make sure the big board operator is nearby me. So
Yeah.
usually I set up DIT, and I set up director, not super close, but close enough so I can communicate. I always need eye contact. I even on Indiana Jones, I had him with camera tape put yellow lines between the carts where no one's allowed to stand. You know, and I had a PA like would kick everyone out. Like it's just like I need to be able to make eye contact, because a lot of my communication with the director is just he'll look over at me and I'll go like this, or I'll go. Or and then he'll go, oh, okay, cut. You know. But yeah, but I like what they gave me, this iPad, and let's say I had the big softbox rigged overhead, so it was a big square, and it says on one, and it said 3200 Kelvin, and then as I was moving the sliders, it showed the percentage of it, so it was going, and then I had, let's say, 2 vortexes on stands, and I had 2 Astera tubes. I mean, I had like Titans and Heliuses and hidden and stuff, and they were shaped like the actual light, which is good for people like me. and every one of those had written on it, and they were numbered. Softbox is 1, vortex number 1, vortex number 2, and anyway, it was, and then as I was sliding it, like it was changing on the iPad. I don't know how they did it. I'm really not good technically.
Not necessary.
But my thing, anyway, it needs to get fed from a big board. Like they said, I couldn't get you this because then I would have needed like
Different board, yeah.
carry a bigger or a board operator. We didn't really have one. But let me find it real quick. But you can ask questions while I look here.
How did you live the exteriors?
On which movie?
No, like the New York exteriors.
Night or day?
Night.
Yeah, like very little. I mean, that's the other reason I did 12,800 on those things. I mean, first of all, I wanted a deep stop because I didn't want the large format expanded anamorphics. I didn't want to lose all the detail of the beautiful sets and set dressing and all the clubs and so I wanted to shoot at an 8 or at least 5, 6, 7. Sometimes I'm 8.5, almost 11 on my night exterior.
Really?
Yeah, and it's still soft because it's expanded anamorphics. I mean, I just like, I was talking to Mikhail Sobochinsky about it. Like, you know, he was asked by the director on Chopin to, and they have amazing sets. I don't know who saw it. Who saw Chopin?
I worked on it.
Oh yeah.
Only a part. Yeah, I was a spark. They were using a lot of light. They were using.
Yeah, but Mikhail told me that you know, he was asked to have everything, so he shot wide open. So, and I told him, I said, I think that's the only thing that I wish it would have been shot at a 4, you know, instead of, it's Hugo's, like, wide open.
Because
Well, because it's, like, because he's wide lens, and it's just, like, out of focus a little bit too much for that lens, it feels like.
it's probably the effect of the smoke. Because we were
Well, also, yeah, if you have atmosphere, also it's nice to have a little more depth of field. So you actually, because the smoke, when it's out of focus like that, then you can't really tell. It just kind of gets mushy, you know, on the edges, and like it's better to feel the atmosphere and have a little more contrast in it between the windows and the smoke inside. So, but anyway, yeah. So I mean, I didn't want to put big condors on every corner and stuff, and also like we didn't really know. We would come up with shots. I couldn't really pre-light. I mean, I had John Alcantara, the gaffer. He also did the Bruce Springsteen movie. I mean, and he did Daddy-O with me. He's a New Jersey guy, and I mean, we have the lights there, but you know, if I don't need them, so what I do is I park the camera just on sticks, and pre-light off of that. I go, give me a wet down. I tell the first AD, have cars like coming around the corner and stuff, and I see like how they kick and how it does this, and then all the window fronts, I'll turn all the practicals on, and the restaurants and the storefronts, the neons, and then I go, oh, this is pretty good. You know, then I don't really add. And then when he's walking down the street, I'm literally, that's the scene where I have 2 guys walking with 2 dash lights. When he comes out of a club and he goes and buys a whistle, that's because that's Steadicam, and I go off and back onto him. And then that's where I had 2 guys walking. And then as I can see him also. Like I always position myself so I can actually see the set and see the actor. Like I'm not in the tent. I put usually a 4x floppy behind me for reflections, but like I need to see the set. Yeah. And so I'm always also, I'm seeing it's about to come to this red storefront. So I have the guy who's on that side with the dash light, he's in red. Like and so I'm not using it. I'm only using the one that's on this side, which is more, let's say, tungsten-y. And then as he's crossing that store, I bring up the red key. And then as he walks past it, you see the source. So, you know, and I learned that also in Daddy-O, where it was all, has anyone seen Daddy-O, Champagne, and yeah, so that's all on stage. It's all volume walls. And I'm
taxi film.
yeah, and I'm doing everything. We have 2 DMXs. I have 12, and my gaffer John Alcantara has 12. And I'm telling him, you do all the car's headlights from behind. So because it's playing back, and I'm like live looking at the wall, and I'm reacting to it.
Okay.
It's not programmed, and I'm not using the volume walls to light the actors. It wasn't enough. So I have tubes everywhere, stairs, and as I'm looking at the footage of what's playing behind him, depending on the shot, there's a car coming up. We bring up, and her hair, which was like platinum blonde, like starts to glow, and it's super cool. Then at the same time, I go to her hair starting to glow. I bring down her fill light completely, you know. So I'm creating moods, like dramatic shifts. I mean, it's, you have a liberty, like in a night drive car movie, to do all that. I'm also listening to the dialogue, and when it's more emotional and more, I'm actually reacting to the mood of the performance. Is great.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really do that in any other scene, like shit. I mean, it's very theatrical, and
Yeah.
But it was kind of theatrical. And then like in the city, once we enter the city and it's getting much more dramatic, I'm becoming much more expressive with use of colors and stuff, like green traffic lights and so, you know, it has a whole arc where it's becoming more expressionistic and more dramatic. And
I want to ask about the workflow on this movie on Daria. You said that like it was shot all on this volumetric, but previously, what was the process? Like you shot the exteriors and the
yeah, so
background
the
that
whole
you
movie takes place real time from JFK to Midtown. With an accident that delays them like half hour. So it's
Yeah,
exactly 90 minutes. So we shot 2 passes of arrays, like pretty cheap. It wasn't stabilized. It was a super low budget movie in 15-day shoot. 13 days on stage, 1 day at where he drops her off, 1 day where he picks her up at the airport. An array day, which I wasn't even there, but I told the guy how to set the cameras, and they drove from JFK to Midtown. So we had the plates. Then they programmed it. It was 4-wall, they called.
Yep.
I had never done it. I did no research on volume.
I'm sorry, was it like 360 that you
No,
captured
I didn't have a budget. So it was a panel, one big panel that was out the front windshield. It was maybe, I wish I had some frames. I mean, I have it all here. Anyway. So one big panel, and then, because we didn't have that, I had nothing overhead, which normally you also for reflections and stuff. But I pulled the windshield, and I got a 50-50 mirror that Harry Zambalucos told me he used on Lock, that movie with where it's one person in a car, and he goes, "Oh, you
Oh,
got."
yeah.
He goes, "That's Tom Hardy."
Tom Hardy.
And then he goes, "You're really gonna like that." So I had that in front, and I would tweak it, like when I go, because I never wanted, like on Harry Zambalucos movie, they have shots mounted outside. I hate like shots outside the car. I become conscious of it, like the camera's outside. But of course, it's very tempting because you get amazing reflections. I only once or twice went outside when she's Dakota's like contemplating reflective something about. There's no dialogue. I don't use it for it. But when she has a private moment and looks out at things, I have her PV of light, and that I shot with reflections. But I still use this 50-50 mirror that's super out of focus, and like it gives a little bit like on Sean Penn's frontal close-up, because I was really close because I didn't want it to be like it's a hood mount. And I initially told the director, first-time director, a woman who wrote it, like a play really, said it should only really be from what she sees of him and what he sees of her in the mirror. Of course, you can't do a 90-minute movie with Sean Penn where it's just like. But you know, then we have this. He stops. He opens the divider. It's a New York cab, and he plays it. And but still, like, so then we had like another angle, and I did the frontal on him. I mean, I had to.
There were some more questions. I'll just lead through that
but
everybody
did
gets
I
a chance.
answer the initial question?
So you kind of shot throughout
Oh, yeah.
this whole
So we
way,
did the
and
play.
what you actually used
So,
for the volumetric. That was
Yeah, then I had other panels like 8x8 and then little ones, and I had another bigger one, and we'd roll them around depending on the setup.
But did you have like already shot list for this that you knew?
She wanted to make a shot list. I go like, it's like two people in a car. Like, what do you want me to do? I get, give me the overhead of the car. I cut the cab in half. I split it. And I actually wanted to do 2 cameras because like they had to do 20 pages of dialogue a day. Like Sean Penn had 3 teleprompters, which I also had to hide the reflections. I mean, but it's like 20, we would do 20 pages a day.
Wow.
It's the whole movie's talking. It's like my dinner with Andre in the car. And then, so I go, but then it was separated them a little too much, and they couldn't really hear. They also couldn't see each other. Like Sean is also very method. He's like, I gotta see. So the mirror, I have to adjust it where I can photograph him, but he can also see her. He wouldn't play to like a mark. So I ended up doing 2 cameras. I had 2 cameras on the whole thing, side by side, like wider and tighter on her, and then, but and then, but then we'd turn around once in a day and we'd run, because I felt bad for them to have to run like so much dialogue twice a day. It'd be great to do this, you know, because it's also very interactive and, you know, they kind of feed off. It's tough.
I'll do the round that everybody gets
Yeah.
a chance. There was some hands back there.
Oh, no, but let me finish.
Okay.
So, no, we'll have time.
As long as you want.
Yeah, I have a screening at 4:30. No, but anyway, then they put in the volume thing, and then I actually with Patrick Sicilian, also New Yorker. I'd done Chicago 7 with him, and anyway, it's really good. I had not gone and seen any volume stages that offered me to go, I didn't really. I go out just to buy. My DIT Lonnie in LA said, it's only going to be like 80% usable. The rest have to be. I go, we can't on this movie. It has to be 100% usable. So what I did is I did it by eye, and I would actually color correct what the content on the screens also through DIT, and then mix in and then my overall LUT also tweaked it. So, but I go if it looks good. I mean, it's fine. I don't really. Sometimes shifts of perspectives or something was off, and I would literally take the flat walls and angle or slide them.
I'm sorry.
It's super low tech and longer lenses and.
The exterior shots that you shot was on the same lenses that you would use in.
No. When you do array, it's usually like shitty cameras. I don't know what it is. It's not that high a resolution, and it's the 20. You put on 28 millimeters. You have 9 of them, or no, it's nothing.
Okay.
No. And it wasn't stabilized. It actually was bumpy, which I thought is maybe a problem, but I think it actually is better than if it's super smooth. I just, again, by eye, it looked right. And I had the camera operators, I told them, when you see that the content on the screens is shaking, just hit the camera a little bit. And we had them rock the car a little bit, but it's also longer lensing than I normally do. It's again, it was T series, vintage anamorphics from Panavision expanded. It was LFs, and it was very forgiving in terms of, because a lot of it is pretty soft in the background. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. The next behind you.
No,
Yeah.
after. No. Go next. Go.
Yeah, I was wondering about how your approach changes between filming an original film and sort of a sequel like Indiana Jones, and if you feel limited while this queer existence.
There's a language that you have to respect in Indiana Jones, and so that's fine. That's fine. We knew that going in. That's why it was very liberating we really didn't have the best creative experience on it. It's such a big machine. It's I love the first Indiana Jones, and it was fine doing that language, and Spielberg is great, and the lensing, people coming into close-ups and stuff, and the lighting was fine too. It wasn't that, but I couldn't do as moody some things as I would have liked to. It's more like a high-key franchise. You have to respect, but I wouldn't really rush doing it again. We're talking about a Star Wars movie with Mangold. Do we really want to go through that Lucas process again?
A man thing for DC, or is that?
No, it's what's Lucas? It'd be a prequel. It takes place 20,000 years before the first Star Wars. Okay. Nobody knows what the Force is or Jedi is and stuff. But I'm not a big Star Wars guy, so I don't really know. Go ahead.
Well, while you were talking about night exteriors, I'm curious about your philosophy when there's no, you're not in a city, you're somewhere, no lighting.
Yeah, that's the trick is moonlight, yeah. I also never mix moonlight with tungsten. Because, I live in a country house in Greece, and I'm always looking at moonlight. But like you turn on like a 20-watt light bulb, that won't. Like I'll never play blue coming through a window and a light on. So, which I mean they did a lot. A lot of people do it. And then moon source. It's the hardest thing, like out in the forest moon. But I've done it. Like I thought it was pretty good when they drive to the cabin on this. But I mean, I had some atmosphere, and I tried to have one source. I just did a Xbox commercial. It was like some zombie village I had to do, and it was like, yeah. So I mean, what I'm doing now, and I learned that from Mike Bauman, who shot. You guys know who he is? On Ford vs Ferrari, on every Condor, he put 2 360s for ambience, and then I've had 2 movers.
Yep.
And that's what I'm doing now.
Yep.
Every Condor has 2 movers, and not 360s anymore. I switched to vortexes. And because they're waterproof and they're lighter and easier to rig, and I can have more of them.
Yeah.
And so I create like a low ambience, and then with the movers I can pick up things, adjust the color, and like it gives them little highlights and stuff. But it like for it to not look like as a source. I mean, I see it all the time done badly, you know, and it's really distracting me. Also, if you have rain and stuff, it gets really tricky. Atmosphere, tubes of depth, and you know, like it really reveals the sources. So, I mean, if you can afford it and you have like one big, giant cranes, like, I mean, huge soft boxes. I mean, we had that also, but then, so I had that in the middle over the set on this Xbox commercial. And then I had Condors usually in 4 corners, so depending on the direction, then I'll kill this one and go to that. But that gives me a little more ability to give somebody a little edge, or, you know, so it's not like the soft top light only. But sometimes only the soft top light looks fine. You can come in with some passive or like an undetectable eye light or something.
With those 4, you're not playing with them like you are with the stage light 4.
Yeah, I do. No, but we set them.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not.
Yeah.
No, but we do control them, right? From everything is controlled from my DP monitor. My DP monitor, when I operate, is mounted to the dolly. I don't operate off an eyepiece. Smaller. And I hate these cases. And they always bring them because they own them and they want to protect them, like in Bulgaria where they were shooting at. Like, it's still like a 17-inch Sony OLED or small HD or something, and that's my DP monitor. But I make sure all monitors get the LUT, like so director or clients or everyone is seeing it. I'm using always my LUT, actually the same one that I developed for David Cole. Probably shouldn't know about this, but I use it for all the commercials. And that becomes what the client gets and what my DIT delivers, and what the client then, of course, they change it on a commercial, or sometimes not. Sometimes they like it. And I tell them it's a really special light from the guy who did Dune, and then they keep it.
There's some more hands out there. Yeah.
Just touching on your board, where you're playing it by ear, is there
By
colorist? It was intentional. Is there a colorist or editor, like in continuity terms, pulling his hair out afterwards, or is that something you don't care about? Or
No, I mean, there is no continuity problem.
no, with levels. So in terms of like a level when, if you're spinning around someone and you're playing.
Oh, no, but
levels
you won't
versus
detect
playing
it. You don't see it. If you see it, I fucked up something. You don't see what I'm doing. I mean, nobody will see what I'm doing. No, I mean, you don't. I mean, unless I fuck up. Sometimes I screw up a cue or I bring up the wrong thing, but it's not like, I mean, like the changes I make, like it's not like it's not, it sounds more dramatic than it actually is. I mean, I'm moving at like 3% or something, or I'm fading something out, but always in hide it in an actor's move, or it's like it's not like you didn't know, and the editors will have no idea what's going on. I mean, no, it's not detectable really. I mean, the director would see it, it'd be bad. Like Mangold's pretty good. Like he's like, what the fuck? I mean, actually sometimes he goes, what the fuck happened? Like he sees it, like, and then it's like, yeah, so I fucked up. I mean, yeah. Or he's like, he'll go, are you doing something? Oh, well, no.
Yeah, coming back to the complete unknown, how do you deal with car lights? If you have the cars driving by?
We used to spray them down and stuff because when I did film, because we didn't have that much latitude. Yeah, but now I don't touch anything anymore. I also really don't light the interiors on cars anymore. I find it looks fine because I have so much latitude, and if anything, I'll put blacks down on it. I shape it a little bit with negatives, but I prefer actually the real interaction of, depending on where they drive, but or like sun hitting them. And I mean, I used to put it on a trailer and have huge, have 90s going through frames with Rafi. And I mean, I don't do that anymore because I always thought it looks good. And the night stuff, I mean, I might have. I usually do rakings in a car, and then I might have like a one Titan tube in the car that again, or maybe two that are different colors, and like again, like depending, but they're free driving, or they're not on a trailer, or they're being towed, but like, yeah.
And from the taxi film, one last question for me: the mirror, how big was it?
It's like 50 by 50 centimeters. Panavision has it. I didn't even know about it. It's called a 50-50 mirror.
Okay.
But
yeah,
it's like that. That's a
this
50
size.
by 50. Yeah.
They need to be front coated, and that's the trouble with them, that they
I don't know.
get scratches. Yeah, but it's soft anyway. Sharpness.
Yeah, I don't think I was losing much of a stock really.
Mm-hmm. Oh, if it's glass, you do a bit, I guess.
I don't know how to do it.
Yeah. But it
Yeah,
worked.
yeah. No, but it's good. I mean, you can use it. I mean, they're kind of hard to get and probably expensive to rent, but maybe you can make one. Because Panavision had it in New York, and I didn't even know of its existence, and then Harry told me, so I told production, and then they go, oh, Panavision has one, and it comes in a huge case. I mean, it's kind of like, it's heavy.
Yeah.
I thought when he was telling me on the phone, I thought it's something I put in my mat box, or a little thing I can rig, which maybe the one could make. I mean, this thing is hugely cumbersome.
Yeah.
What Harris did on Lock, he had the car was being towed, but they were driving around on some section of the freeway in London. So he had rigged a big overhead grid that was on the trailer, and so he had all these light cues in addition to pulling around at night.
It was a fantastic movie, yeah.
Yeah. But that's one guy in the car. So, and also like Champagne, like pulling him around in New York in the winter, like that would have been a disaster.
Yeah. It was some, yeah, please.
I would like to ask, like, what was the worst problem you ever had on set? Like,
Ever?
yeah.
Worst problem ever. I mean, there have been some, I used to really take on responsibility, I don't know why, like for making the day, and sometimes things are just not scheduled realistically. Now I go, if I can't do it, you guys scheduled it wrong. But when I was younger, no, because I'm fast. I mean, I'm really fast, because I started Corman and we had to be. I never went through any system, a training. I never really was an AC or a gaffer. I just made up everything, and I didn't know how to use equipment, so I didn't have any. And I mean, so I'm definitely fast. Like if I can't make the night, then it's a problem for production. So, but I used to stress out like crazy about making the day, because back then, like, you know, we thought like we're gonna get fired if we don't make the schedule, which we might have, but I always made it and never been fired. But many people did get fired because they're slow. And then I did have one big problem on one big mouse hunt night exterior. We were shooting a day scene, then we switched in. I had huge night exterior, the wide shot of the house with snow and everything. And Bob Hall, my assistant, forgot to take out the ND9 internal on the Panavision, and noticed after we wrapped the big wide shot and we were already in coverage and stuff. And that was bad. And once the same assistant, who also was Wally's assistant and did Inception and all that, he's retired now, so I can talk shit about him. He also threaded the film with a bit loaded it wrong with emulsion. I don't even know how that's possible. But and then Bob has threaded million mags in his career, like threaded it through, like, and we did this super complicated Steadicam shot, low level with big Ritter fans and leaves blowing and stuff. And then when he changed the mag, he goes, "Oops, I have to tell you, like, this mag, the emulsion was on the wrong side."
It happened to me.
Really? But how do you even do that?
Stuff under. Then we checked with the chief of the lab here in Poland, and we were like, okay, it's around 2 steps under, so the coating,
Yeah.
like from the side.
But how do you even load it like that?
I can't tell you because I remember doing it, but I don't know how I made mistakes.
You're a camera assistant?
No, I'm a cinematographer.
Oh, but back then?
Yeah.
Oh, the assistant did it.
This is when I was student.
Oh, I see.
In which we were shooting film, so students would help each other.
Yeah.
And I did this on the movie of a friend, and she was like, okay, kind of
Maybe
hate
stick to
you.
cinematography.
But just, you know, for everybody, like, it's crew and we're all humans and stuff happens.
Of
But
course.
how do you deal with it, like leading this team, and how do you deal with people making mistakes, and how do you deal with this
I've
stuff?
become a lot better. I was pretty hot-headed. I mean, Rafi can tell you. Rafi's been through the for full arc, and now I'm pretty chilled because I travel to so many places, and the level of crews varies so much. And then when I go back to LA working with my crew that I used to be impatient with, I go, my God, they're fucking good. But not that the crews ever were suck. In the meantime, like, I find really great crews pretty much everywhere I go. Like, I was just, I mean, my gaffer in Sofia was great. My gaffer in Prague was amazing. Key grips in Vancouver, like, everyone is really good. I went to Japan, they're a little different. Because they're very, but like, they're good. And, you know, I mean, they're not, the biggest difference is because of the system where electricians also cut light. That's the biggest problem. I go, you guys don't, nobody really knows how to cut light. Not like Ray Garcia, but it's not fair. I mean, he's like the best in the world, and we have grips that are 3rd generation grips. You know, this is a century of experience that gets passed down, like tricks and this, and I mean, you learn things that, how is someone in Georgia, you know, gonna know this? Like Gio Shvilitz is pretty good. He's been on my sets when he was a student. He's the president of the GCA, Georgian cinematographer. He's a very good DP, got an AAC award for Named's movie, for a Spotlight Award. I mean, he's a really good DP, but how is he supposed to know, like, this stuff? I mean, they have, like, barely any equipment. But you can make really beautiful movies with not having a big production. I mean, I tell people all the time in Europe, like, don't worry about it. Like, everyone wants to be like on this Hollywood level. Just like, you have so much more freedom. you can be so much more reactive. And I mean, I did a $300,000 movie I directed and shot in Greece. I had like one gaffer, the other guy was also driving the truck, and he would help. I have almost no equipment, no dolly, and it looks amazing. But you know, I'm also the director, so I'm controlling. Like, we're going to shoot this room at 2 o'clock. We're in this sense. Like, I'm going to go outside, smoke a cigarette. I go, okay, we're abandoning the scene. We're going to go outside. Like, it's most insane cloud formations are forming. But like on smaller European movies, you can kind of do that. You know, the cast is there. Like, it's impossible to do in America. It's like, oh, I want to do this scene. Oh no, the guy is in base camp, or he's in this hotel, or like you know, it's like you can't react. It's like you have a big ball and chain on your leg. You can't. Or you're doing day exteriors. The hardest thing is day exteriors that are is one scene, but it's shot over 3 days. It's a disaster. Because, you know, I check the forecast, I go, well, it's sunny today, the next 2 days raining or overcast. And so you gotta really, I mean, that's where experience comes in. You really gotta plan, you know, you do all these wide shots, you know you're gonna control the tighter shots. Do you commit, do you make everything overcast? Do I block the sun now and shoot the whole scene like an overcast? Or do I go for sun, shoot all the wide shots now in the sun, and then light all the close-ups? I mean, the scenes where he's singing with John Baez, of course I'm controlling them on stage, but the trees in the background, I don't know if anyone noticed. Yeah, but that was a lot of work also in the DI. I mean, when the sun comes out and hits those green trees, they're fucking on fire. And I mean, I'm lighting and exposing to my actors' faces who are on stage, who of course I'm controlling. But you know, I don't have the luxury. I'm not like, you know, Chivo and where they just shoot, or Woody Allen would just rap if the sun came out. There's no sunny shot in Manhattan in any Woody Allen movie. Maybe on Annie Hall, but so that's really hard. Like, I'd rather be on a European movie where I can go, like, we can shoot this scene today. Like, I don't need 3 days. I've tried it on bigger movies. I tried on Patch Adams, it was a nightmare. But that first AD had done Heaven's Gate, which is like historically the most disastrous, over budget movie that destroyed the studio and Michael Cimino. But I said, like, I go, like, why are we here tomorrow? Like, we can do, oh no, you know, this week is pretty light, and then Robin Williams is like taking a nap or something. It's like, cool. But I mean, you have great advantages. And now I'm doing a documentary all year where I go around and I have nothing. I mean, it all has to fit in a van, like the camera and the whole lighting package. And I have a slider, I have a Dana Dolly, I usually carry a 4-foot slider, but it's Venice 2s, it's great lenses, and I have one of these aperture things. Oh, that's a different company, right?
That's the top shot.
But Orban Navlux now, I mean, I'm using those instead of Ballast and M40s and stuff, and I mean, they're great. And one of those, and then like some Astera tubes, and maybe one vortex, and you can pretty much do everything in any location. And blacks and negatives, 4x floppies, lots of 4x floppies. That's the trick.
What is your exposure to now that you've had such a trainer? You still have like you're using anything or
like a meter?
false color?
No, I don't even know how to use any of that. Like, Ed Lachman keeps talking to me about this thing. He wants me to, because he knows I have small HD monitors that I own, and like he keeps telling me, like he keeps giving me his business card, like this thing. I don't know how to, I'm always embarrassed. I don't tell anyone. Like, I don't know how to read it. I work off my LUT by eye. My monitor I know, and it's calibrated.
So you use the same monitor every time?
Well, no, but I mean, we calibrated and we put my LUT on, and I light off the LUT, which is pretty contrasting. The blacks are pretty crushed. So I know like stuff is there. I mean, sometimes I say switch, let me see, what is it called?
The raw. Yeah.
Raw, and it's like insane how much is there. And it's really like, Bruno was talking today how when they did, what was that TV show he did with Alfonso Cuarón and Chivo?
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer, he goes, and his colorist Peter Doyle, who I also tested for the Dylan movie, because he's saying that Alexa 35, it has what, 17 stops or something, and he was worried, and I kept telling him, no man, it's like, it's all there, you know, so it's almost there. But I mean, it's close enough, like, I don't know, like, if you're off by a third or a half stop, but usually by eye, I mean, I also have, in addition to having my dimmer, I also have, when I travel, when I have my iris knob also on my monitor. So I even, like, sometimes I operate and I'll pull a little iris. Now, when I have my regular DIT, they even pull iris like on 3 cameras simultaneously. You know, I do a lot of iris pulls. I really like it.
Like DJing. It's like your thing.
Yeah. Well, before I discovered the DMX, now I play mostly with that. Before that, like I'm for the Ferrari. Oh, and then Mango caught me a bunch of times. Demon, wait, stop pulling it. But like, you know, like I am like walking people from inside to outside, or cars and stuff. I'm cars constantly pulling.
Yeah.
And sometimes I do it like almost. And again, the editors shouldn't. No, I'm saying like the editors shouldn't. I mean, nobody should ever see it. Yeah.
So far.
Yeah, once I get more senile and older, I'm sure it'll be. Yeah.
But if you're using your LUT, for example, Nebraska and...
Nebraska is black and white.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
On my monitor is all black and white. Only lived in black and white.
So it's more like...
That was Alexa, so I'm black and white, Alexa. And actually, I mean, I was thinking, after Nebraska, I should always have my monitor in black and white. I was thinking because it was really, because then you're lighting for color, for contrast, and because I would switch it to color and it looked really good also. And so that might be a good way to just not be distracted with dealing with color separation. But I mean, nobody, I probably wouldn't do it, but it's just sort of interesting. Or maybe sometimes you can switch it to black and white. I mean, we used to take black and white Polaroids. That was our exposure tests with Rafi. You know, we had, we were talking about it in the other cinema, how also like, so Baczynski had always had an intern or a PA, and we'd do all the lighting diagrams, all the floor plans, all the lighting diagrams, and then I would ask her the Polaroid, and every lighting diagram page, it was a big book. Every scene had the black and white Polaroid to go with it.
Nice book.
Yeah, it's great. They became like really amazing, and normally the intern then got to keep it, but I'd get a copy of it. But they were really beautiful, really great.
Should print it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I have so many folders. I don't know. My wife wants to throw them away all the time. I go, no, this is really collector's item. But they're great, and I have all these Polaroids, still amazing Polaroids. That I should make a book of, but it's all these actors, and it's like clearance, and but we've talked about it.
Yeah.
Really great stuff. Like Joaquin Phoenix. I mean, I've been doing it for a long time. $1 Million Hotel has amazing black and white Polaroids, like amazing.
That sounds like something you really should do.
Yeah.
Cool. Hey, I guess we'll wrap it up. One more question? Yeah. Sure.
You said we can go forever.
We're good? Okay, all good.
Can you talk a little bit about the interview process for gaffers and key reps? Because Mike and John are as close to celebrities as it's well humanly possible, and I guess Rafi as well, thanks to you.
John Alcantara, he was nobody when I hired him on Daddy-O.
Yes, but now he's very,
Yeah.
like, you know, he had 2 movies at the
Well.
same time yesterday. He had the Springsteen and the Irish.
I know, but that's like his first 2 movies, really. I mean, didn't have a lot of credits before. He was like the kid that, because Bauman, like I asked Bauman to do Daddy-O, and he was shooting TV things somewhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, he doesn't gaff anymore, Bauman, but
So just
Messerschmitt also
like,
was my
how
gaffer.
do you know? How do you find out that you click with somebody?
Yeah, I mean, you really can't till you're on the set. You know, you gotta just see if you like them as a person, and you talk about things, and you really don't find out till you're on the set, like how well they respond. I mean, obviously, when I go somewhere in a commercial, I'm not sure. I tell local production, just get me the best person that you guys have dealt with, and you know, I'm hope for the best. And sometimes most of the times I'm positively surprised, and I go, well, I guess I could work with many gaffers. Like it's also become much easier because of all this technology. Like it used to be, if you had a bad gaffer, it was a problem.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, like, give me the dimmer, you know, like, I change this color. Like, you know, before it was like, they had to really be organized, like every light had to come, have the scrims. Like in Europe, they wouldn't even use scrims, they'd use ND gel. I mean, I'm like, are you guys crazy? Like, I mean, every light has to have, do you have them? You have it on the truck. I go, hang them on every light. Have singles, doubles. I mean, like, why wouldn't you use them? In Munich, it's airy lights. Like, you guys don't have the accessories? It's like crazy. It's just different systems, you know. But now, like, it seems like there are not so much different systems because of everything that's happening, and everyone, you know, with the new lights that everyone's using, and the new gaff is also becoming more technical. Like John is pretty technical, you know. Like more than I am, like, because they go to all these shows. They, you know, I don't have the time to really. I have no idea what comes out. Like, I mean, and sometimes they send us stuff to set to demo it and stuff, but like, that's pretty recent. Like, and I don't really keep up on all the technology. Same with cameras. I don't really. It's impossible, you know. But when I have an assignment and I know what movie I'm going to do, and I know what look I'm going to go for, then I look into this what is available when I'm actually starting prep, not what's available like all the time. And that's why Venice 2 was the first time I used it, was for the Dill movie, because I knew I wanted to shoot like this, you know, and I knew that Alexa, I can't take it to that. Well, you can't go past 3,000.
But there is, like, you know, there is the phone call that happens at some point, and I'm just really curious.
Well, I take recommendations. Like, I mean, John came recommended from Bauman. If he recommends me somebody, I can assume he's not going to screw me up. Like, because he'll get a call back from me, you know. And same with grips. And I ask Ray. I mean, a lot of, you know, there are a lot of them, or SDPs. I mean, like, I used to call Ed, like when I would come to New York, or Matt. We all talk, you know. I mean, we all shoot in New York, or when people come to LA, or people come to Georgia now, where I also live, in Tbilisi, and they ask me, of course. I get calls from all kinds of people all the time about Athens, or they know like where I have shot, and I keep all the good names of them, but you know, you don't always get, they're not available, you know, like. I've never really interviewed. Oh well, actually, on Chicago 7, I interviewed 2 gaffers in New York, and one was the guy who did West Side Story with Janusz, and I asked Janusz. Of course, he's shot in New York. Like I know, like recently, Mauro's Fiore is just shooting in New York. He asked me for operators, Steadicam. You know, I recommended. I mean, so we all. It's a whole network system, and the people you trust and like. And
textiles. Do you have any favorite textiles for shaping, texture, anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, there's this guy in Budapest who does these rags. What's it called? It's amazing. I have a whole swap book with me. He does every bounces, and Chiva, of course, uses him. But Rafi is Ray Garcia said, I've been a client since 2014. He's based out of Budapest, but my gaffer in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And I said I want baby daylight blue bounces. He has every color.
Okay.
It's really amazing. Are you talking about for bouncing?
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about the dashes, you know, for highlights, and
Yeah.
shaping, close to camera.
Yeah.
Do you play anything directly through a textile, like a calico?
Yeah, I mean, I use the regular diffusions, but I bounce usually. I put unbleached muzz on the 4x4 bounce boards or muzz mostly. But this guy, I have a photo. It's amazing. You guys don't. No one knows this company?
No, actually, no. Bluff is from Brazil. No, you're talking about there's a guy who makes a whole range like Ragplace does.
Rag,
like Ragplace is
and
is
they
US.
told my Vancouver gaffer just told me that out of Budapest.
Oh, interesting.
But do you get it? He'll ship anywhere in the world. It's probably expensive, and but Chiva has and Rafi has. I know. I wrote to Ray. I go, do you know? He goes, yeah, I've been a client of his since 2014. So they've been around. It's nothing new. But like every tonality of, you know, from warm muzz to really deeper ochre sand colors, blues, grays. We use them as gray screens instead. We don't really use blue screen or green screen anymore. We use gray.
Does it also have different shapes and patterns? Like the
It can make any.
was mentioned where there's the blue for the sky, green for the grass, and some brown.
Oh, where
for
you
the-
can combo it?
Yeah,
Oh, you can have it custom. It's like, they'll make you anything you want. I mean, they'll deliver it in any size, you know, 40 by 60 to 20 by 20, 12 by 12.
Because I've learned, like with this bluff bounce, especially when you're using LED lights, it gives you this a little bit of gradation in light and color when you bounce from like,
I
like
see,
blue
yeah.
emulating the sky,
Sure.
etc. Because if you just go for the muslin, the LED still gives you a little bit this just one color.
Yeah.
one
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to feel like it's a white bounce, so usually I have these fabrics that are like a different color.
Yeah.
The gradation bounces I haven't done, but I might bounce one thing into like a blue, and then I bounce everything into the ground. If the ground is sand, you know, so I get that like that. But I also lay things on the ground a lot. A lot of blacks sometimes on the ground, or when I'm shooting on grass or green things, I don't want to get a lot of green bounce. So I really create big walls of like 312 bys of black, and I really shape, like my Dake series I really shape with lots of negative and overheads, and I mean I really create big, I mean you need big stuff.
Yeah. It's the best, huh? Cool. Well, thanks so much, Tim.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
That was pretty informative.
Yeah, it was.